Hello and welcome back. My name's Monkey and welcome back to ARK Ascended. So, last episode we built this magnificent, epic looking little base. It's roughly about a medium sized base with a T-Rex pen. Now, today's episode though, we are going to be decorating this and going through how I would sort of decorate the area. Try and be sort of like a how-to, but also sort of not a how-to at the same time, because there's very limited resources I'm working with here. So it's going to be sort of just a basic gist of what my mind sort of goes to and how my mind works when I'm coming around to decorate and stuff. So yeah, I just want to try and share that with you guys, just in case if you're not 100% on sort of like how to decorate. Um, it's going to be sort of like aimed towards that sort of that player. Because predominantly myself, I come from a building background, especially with sort of playing a lot of Minecraft and sort of like well, back in the day it was more sort of like RTS games like Age of Empires, Command and Conquer, sort of building your own sort of empire and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this episode is going to be sort of that sort of digressing too much. It's going to be sort of like how to decorate the a room and sort of try and give you my thought process of how I sort of go about doing that. So we're going to start off with a T-Rex pen, and yeah, we're going to decorate that first, and I'm going to tell you how I sort of go through my thought process and what sorts of things I'm thinking about when I'm decorating. So let's head over towards the T-Rex pen, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about today can be sort of like transverse across all sorts of building games. I would have preferred to be able to bring some Minecraft references into this from my old worlds on Xbox, but unfortunately the Xbox that was up here has been tucked downstairs because I'm trying to make everything a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more tidier. It's sort of like tidy area, tidy mind or something like that I was saying. I can't quite remember what it was, but yeah, something along those lines. So basically, when it comes to sort of like decorating stuff, you want to sort of think, what is the room actually built for? What's its purpose? What you're going to be doing in here, and so on and so forth. So pretty much in here, what I'm thinking is, because we're not going to really have this area here is pretty much going to be storage. This is just going to be a walkway, and then sort of like the living quarters are up there. That's sort of how the house is sort of laid out. So this is kind of like the working area, and then this is sort of like going to be the garage. What you would like sort of class as a garage is going to be basically you could do bits and pieces, melt stuff down, and basically this is going to be sort of like a universal room to do stuff. Apart from it can predominantly just house a T-Rex or any other dinos to your heart's content. To be honest, anything that's sort of the same height as a T-Rex will fit under here. So yeah, but without digressing too much, sort of with how to or what you can fit in here, let's talk about how to decorate. So again, you got to sort of assess what the building is for, what you're going to be using it, how you're going to be sort of accessing it. So like, say for example, like you know that there's going to be a front entrance, then sort of like that's your little side door there to exit away. So you want to sort of bear that in mind when you're sort of decorating. So no. Yes, so how to decorate. Right, so if we're going to bear the principle that this is going to be a dino pen slash garage, what I would personally go towards myself would be to try and make some. Thank you. So I think we'll have one there. We'll do one there. And that'll be sort of like a bay where we can store some stuff. And then I think we'll have some forges on the back just so you can come in and drop your metal off. You could probably put a big forge in here. It's entirely your call. But personally, myself, I'm going to be putting smaller forges in here. So, also what we'll do is we'll also bang a few chests on the side of here. So, at least one of these. Right. So, we'll put a chest here. because this would be sort of like, say for example, you're using this to sort of put your tools. So say for example, we'll have an armor one on this side, then we'll have a weapons and tools on this side. It would be nice if we could have had like a sign, but like a sign that you could put tools on and display your tools. So, say for example, it just sort of like adds a little bit of dimension to the build, a bit of natural feeling, sort of like tools on display. It's like if you were in a shed like this. While we're here as well, speaking of sheds, so this is kind of how my thought process goes. So sheds, what would you find in a shed? Well, you'd find a tool shed. So we're gonna put this here for like tools or sort of like storage for like propane, all that kind of stuff. You know, just using a bit of imagination here. So we'll put that there. That's a little tool shed. Fantastic. And then yes, this would be sort of like getting yourself geared up. So like your armor in this one, and then your weapons and tools like we just said in this one. That's how this would be sort of laid out. And also, what else would you have? Well, you'll probably have some sort of storage, like boxes for storing, I don't know, saddles, all that kind of stuff. So, say for example, when we come down to sort of like laying boxes, let's see, we need to move that away. So, when it comes down to doing like boxes, what I like to do is trying to make it feel a bit more natural. So, the way I like to make things natural, it's like I've noticed that a few people just go bang, 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 bang. Ooh, sort of like keep them continually going. So they're kind of like just in the line, but it sort of adds a bit of rigidness to it. It doesn't sort of like look natural. So this bit here kind of looks more natural because it's like offset, but let's pick these up. So yeah, how I like to do boxes is try to make them sort of a little bit more random. If you place things randomly, it makes it feel a little more natural because like, if for example, if you are coming in and like placing boxes, like you wouldn't really place the boxes sort of like what I'm looking for. Do this, that's a little bit too close. Yeah, boxes won't necessarily be stacked neatly, they'll be sort of stacked sort of like to the side like that, and then you'll have more sort of like one on top. If we can get it on top, can we get it on top? There we go. Sort of like that, if you know what I mean. It kind of looks a little bit more natural, but something looks like human error, if you know what I'm saying. It kind of just ties in a little bit. So yeah, that's how kind of how I like to play stuff, because if you place it randomly, it looks a little bit better than sort of trying to strategically place stuff, because if you strategically place stuff, it tends to take away from the build. It's like if you've ever played Minecraft, I'm going to be using a lot of Minecraft references here, because to be honest, that is the ultimate survival game in my eyes, especially when it comes down to building. It's like, this is absolutely amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, I love this game for the matter of fact it's everything's more 3D, nothing's in blocks, nothing's in squares. It looks a little bit more better, and you can paint the outside, you can paint the inside, the walls, and so on and so forth. But yeah, the versatility and actually sort of how to build stuff and having the blocks, the different tiles, different things that you can use for different rooms, it's a lot more versatile. So that's what I'm going to be sort of using as an explanation or an example when it comes down to building. So it's like when we're building in Minecraft, it's like we don't sort of just say for example, this is our wall here, and this would be an 8x2 wall. It wouldn't be this high, it'd probably be more like this high, but either way, not to digress. Say for example, you would place like one cobblestone here, another cobblestone here, and then say for example, I would probably feel to put a smooth, then probably a mossy and stuff like that. Basically, if you break up the actual pattern with randomness, it looks a little bit better. It looks like nature's took over rather than sort of something being strategically placed where it looks sort of man-made, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, excuse me just a bit there. Right. um so not how it's going to be finished, obviously. Let's have a look on this side. What would we have on this side? I think on this side, I think we'll probably have feeding trough. like so. And then I think what we'll then have on the outside is composting bins. So here, I think what we'll do is we'll bang another chest in. There we go. And what we'll do is we will get, I think what we'll do is we'll put one refrigerator out here. Refrigerators, refrigerator, refrigerator, refrigerator. Where are you? Refrigerator. Not got any. Ah, thought I did. Right, so what we'll do here is we'll place a fridge on this side actually. There. So that fridge will be for sort of like food for the dinos. So you can keep them nice and cool and then just bang them in there when you need it. That's kind of what the fridge there would be for. And then also we're going to bang some forges in here as well. Just because, you know, you come in from your hard day's work and grafting in the mountains and getting yourself some metals and bits and pieces and not, you would probably come in here and you'll probably plonk off the metal completely here. So, right, forge, 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 forge. There we are. Like so. So yeah, so have a couple of forges. And then I think what we'll do as well is we'll put a map in here. Just to sort of tie in this. There we go. Just something to look at, something nice and pleasant to see. Breaks up the colour as well. Right. Look at that, it's really blurry. Okay, yeah. So yeah, and it just adds a little bit more color, a little bit more dimension. Okay, so also as well, what we would have in here if we were sort of like thinking about dinosaurs and sort of what their requirements are. We've got the feeding trough. What about water? We need water. So, with that being said, I'd probably put in a few barrels. Let's switch this around. Okay, right, so yeah, put a barrel in there. Okay, right, so that's kind of the inside done. So we're going to move it over to the backside, just here. Then what we're going to do here is we're going to place composting bins. So what we'll do is we'll put one here, nice and straight, and then enable the snapping, and we'll put one. This section is here, like so. So that'll be able to handle all of our fertilization, or your sort of starting of your fertilizers. Get your words out, monkey. Come on. Yeah, that's going to be there like that. And then what I'm then going to do is add some more boxes. I think we'll put them over here. And again, just going to place them kind of randomly. One on top of there. Like that. And put that one there. Put that one there like that. Yeah, we can store all of our thatch in here. This would be sort of like for storing thatch for the composting bins. In fact, I think what we'll do is put an extra one down. Alright. Table snapping again. Yeah, like that. That would do. Okay, right. So now we've got that done. What we need to think about is, well, we've got water in there, but how do we actually get water? So for that, we're going to be placing some of this, or these water tanks, just here, and that'll provide water to anything that we need. But yeah, that's how we're going to get our water. Otherwise, if you were to build it closer today, you could probably use water intake. But just to add a little bit of dimension, we are going to add these water tanks just to make it look like that's how we're actually getting the water. Just makes it look a little bit more natural. So, right. What else? What else? What else? Well, there's definitely going to be some boxes on this side. So let's go to here. I think what we'll do is we'll put one there. And then we'll put one there. And then we'll stack another one on top of there like that. And then we'll just do the same on this side. Alright, we need to move this. Alright, I think what we'll do is we will put that closer to us. Like that. Oh, I want to do that. Let's demolish. No. Oh, hold on. Right. What? Pick up storage box. And then we need to place one. Alright. Yeah, so just plonk one just like that. Brilliant. And then what we'll do as well is we will place another map just to add a little bit of variation in the color palette. Breaks sort of like the stone look and the wood look. So yeah, that's how we're going to do that one. Also, I think we'll place that note. We'll stick with this bit here first. Right, so just had a thought as well. What else would you want it to have in a shed or a garage? Well, you would want a bench. So, get the bench out. Oh, get the bench out. Bench, thank you. Right. So we're going to put a couple of benches in here. Don't want full alignment. Right. Yeah, a couple of benches just like that to store a few bits and pieces on, or if you just want to work and clean a saddle, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's how I would sort of design the interior of this dino pen. Let's move on to the storage. It's going to be this area here. So predominantly in the storage, what we're going to be having, all this is going to be sort of like the main working area slash storage area. So here, first of all, we need to get a generator in because every house needs a electrical. So what we'll do is we'll plonk that there. Test the range. Nope. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll put the generator closer. Bonk it there just like that. And For that, we're going to need storage. That way? Yeah, it's that way. Right. Yeah, a couple of storage chests just for the fuel. Then what else? I think what we'll do is we'll also have the cooking area over here as well. So just like that. And then what we'll do as well is we'll put a bookcase here for recipes. There we go. Nice little storage, not storage, Jenny area with like sort of your cooking area. Nicely tucked away and compact, which is nice. So along here for storage, obviously for storage we need to have loads of chests. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one there. And then we're going to come over here. Okay, so in fact what I might do, just so we're not doing this bit by bit, we're going to speed it up and I'm just going to quickly kind of decorate the whole area and then we'll come in afterwards. Well, storage area, we'll come in afterwards. Okay, right, so we're back now. We've got this whole place decorated up now. So let me run you through my process, okay? So when I'm thinking about a work shed, I think of a few bits and pieces. I think predominantly the lathe. Every shop needs a lathe to be able to manipulate metal. That's what I'm going with right now. Chop, saw, shape metal. And also we've got a generator, as we already seen beforehand. Nice little area here. Nice little cook area here with your bookcase ready and raring to get with your recipes. And this is like just a little wheel thing. Makes sense? But yeah, I sort of like to keep this out of the way just so it's not taking up the whole space. Also, we could add like water tanks, be acting as like sort of your water pump system. Just entirely what your imagination sort of comes up with, to be honest. And then you need a chemistry bench, just for mixing them chemicals up in your work area. And then we got a few little smithy benches just for the sort of like if you were working on an actual workbench and stuff. That's just there for aesthetics and also practicality. But yeah, in this sort of thing, sort of like decorating, everything is just solely here for aesthetics and sort of how I would lay it out and how I sort of like build the workshop or sort of like build these in each individual areas. But then also coming over here as well, you'll have tables to work on, probably pestle and mortars. Probably you don't need this many, but I was just sort of showing that if you show like had it random, can you see sort of like it looks a little bit more natural, like someone sort of laid it down and like people are actually working. That's just sort of how my brain sort of works. Like if something's straight, it's usually packed away and being tidy. Whereas if it's out and about, it would usually be quite messy. So yeah, kind of how I'm thinking about it. And then obviously we've got bookcases and storage just for like, well, bookcases for starters, you'd be storing your manuals on there, your maps and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, then we've got a little fire here, just to add a little bit of aesthetics because you want to keep yourself warm in a shop. And yeah, even though there is air conditioners here, I've put them in, but they're sort of, in my eyes, I'm using these more like sort of as power boxes for the appliances because you would probably have like a big transformer for it. That's kind of what they're there for. But they also do help with the air conditioning and keeping everything cool. And you can probably do some eggs in here if you wanted to. It's entirely your call. Like I said, you can repurpose these rooms for whatever you would like them to in the future. Like, please don't think, oh, I've got to have it this specific way. It's like, no, you don't. Trust me. Yeah, that's all right. I was thinking about moving that over, but I like that. I try to keep everything a little bit offset. So, like, say for example, like when I said in the video last week in the written section, I built this kind of off center. So, like say for example, when this is here, sort of bring that edge in, so it looks like it's still one bit there, one bit there. Probably should have put the window on the other side, but I kind of prefer to have it there, so it's sort of just being even, so it's like wall, window, wall, window, wall, window, so to speak. But yeah, this is why I built it off center, because like when you're at this thing, it's like when you're sort of building, like this is one of my pro tips as well, which I learned from Minecraft and a few Minecraft YouTubers, is that when you're sort of walking to something, you want to sort of have it where your focal, like, I don't know how to exactly word it, but you want to sort of have it so it sort of brings in your focal point. It's like here, like see how it sort of creeps in, because it's slightly off center. If this was over here, if you were to sort of like walk past it coming this way, it wouldn't be as prominent and it wouldn't sort of draw your eye to that center bit. That's kind of why I built it off center a little bit. And also on this side here, if you can see it coming in, it's like bang, because this is slightly shorter with it. That's on the same one. But yeah, it kind of basically draws your eye in quicker. I don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of why I built it off center, just basically trying to make a more interesting focal point. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. But yeah. So in here, we are going to be placing rails. So let's do that now. Go. I must admit, these snap points aren't great. Like, I wish you would stick with the last snap point that you had. And then if you wanted to change it, you press Q, like that. And I have it so it's like the wrong way round and not in the correct area. Right, let's just put this here, because I can't talk and do things. One thing I'm trying to learn how to get better at is sort of like learning to walk and talk, so to speak. Because yeah, I'm not very fluent at it and I want to sort of improve on it. Right, so moving up here though, there is one thing we need to quickly do, and that is to edge these there and there. So that is just basically to add a bit more structure, sort of like trying to see if I could have it sideways. I would also run these pillars like up vertically as well, or diagonally. But yeah, this is just basically just add a bit more depth to the rail, because you would have, for example, if you were to look at your own stairs, you would have kind of like, even though it'd be thinner, you would have like sort of like a this kind of like, I'm not entirely sure what you would call it, but it's like there's an edging on the bottom, and then you have your posts, and then you have your rail. That's how it would actually sort of look in real life. That's sort of why I do this edging here. Yeah. Right, so moving on to the tower. This tower area is going to be kind of like, it's a small living quarters. I think up here we're going to have a few chests. In fact, I'm going to decorate it and then I'll come back in again and tell you what I've done and how I sort of went about it. I'll catch you in a second. Hello, welcome back. Right, so we're finished decorating the joint now. What I was thinking was basically, if you haven't like a nice little chill out area, you need somewhere obviously to chill out. So that's why I added these benches in here. And then you can sort of play board games, chess, or cards, or just if you just want to read and, you know, chill out with a book. You can see and look at the nice, gorgeous view that's hazed off by some sort of black meshing that they added into the window, make it less seeable or less visible. But yeah, you also have somewhere to eat as well and sit down and enjoy your meal without standing up. And then obviously if you have sort of like, you want a bit of reading material, that's why we've got the bookcases here. And then this like sort of table was going to be sort of like just a table for storing stuff. You could probably put like your bits and pieces from your wallet on the day out, you know, using a bit of imagination. But yeah, we've got our storage as well, because there's always something you need to store. Now, if you're wondering what these are here for, this is where I'd probably put armor stands. So you could display your armor and whatnot like that. Or basically just have it as sort of like an actual piece. Like say for example, we have like the medieval armors on display, like galleries and stuff. Just basically like that really. So if that was something we could have in this on vanilla, then that is something that I'll put here. And then coming over to here, we have got, well, as you can see, we've got torches. This is basically to light up the area. It's all just sort of basic, really. This is kind of why I wish that we had a few more design blocks that we could utilize in our builds, so that way we can make it a little bit more versatile, a little bit more fresh, and sort of basically mix it up for the next person. Because I think having a bit more variety, a bit more spice to life, you know what I'm saying, would be quite nice to have in this. Would be quite nice. It'd be a nice quality of life improvement, definitely. Then coming up to the stairs, it's just sort of basic again. We've got our preserving bins here acting as sort of like wardrobes, as you see. And then we've got a storage chest just for whatever like that. And then you got a little bench if you want to do your hair or whatever there in the morning and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, this bed here, how we sort of did it, I wanted to make it look like it's sort of like an under storage, sort of storage or under bed storage. So I added this medium crop plot. And it's kind of hit the legs, which sort of makes it look a little bit nicer to sort of look at from the front or from this angle here. And then it also sort of looks like you've got sort of like drawers that you can sort of pull out from the bottom as storage. But yeah, that's kind of how I thought about this area and how I sort of wanted to decorate it, or how my brain thought it should be decorated. Again, I'm just a bit disappointed that we haven't got more tiles, because I would love to make things look a little bit more better. Sort of having like an actual library. It'd be nice if you could do sort of like an actual library in a house, or sort of just a lounge area, that kind of stuff. It'd be really, really nice to have more versatile tiles that we could sort of add a bit more variety and a bit more depth to our builds. Now, I know that this is predominantly like a base building, and it's not sort of as deep as what sort of, say, for example, Minecraft is, but yeah, I think it's something that is probably needed in this game just to make it feel a little bit more fresh, a little bit more new, and sort of trying to mix it up from your next clanmate or the neighboring clan that's probably not got a base that looks exactly the same as yours, because that's the meta, so to speak. So yeah, I think having that bit more versatile or the variety would be nice to have in this, especially with like the fences. Like I wish there was like several different types of fences and whatnot. But yeah. Alright. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna decorate the outside now. And then I'll bring you back in again and sort of tell you my thought process again and see where we go from there. Right, so I'll catch you in a second. Okay, right, so we're back now. Finally finished off the outside. Now, I've not gone too in depth with it like I usually do in my other ones, like I end up putting like ballista turrets and stuff like that. But while I'm here, I noticed this in my recording. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's fixed. Wonderful. So yeah, usually I put like ballista turrets and stuff like that down, and not done this time. See, I would have loved to have some banners. Again, this is one of the things which I would really love to have added into the game, is banners on vanilla aspect. But when I am asking for stuff, it is for vanilla. I know there is mods, and I will be checking out the mods in the future. But right now, I'm just sort of focusing on vanilla and sort of what I think that should be added. It's sort of add a new dimension to it instead of sort of relying on your modding community to add the elements in for you. It's like, I think it seems a bit lazy. Like, say for example, the new building mechanics that we've got in here is from S Plus. So I feel that they could have gone one step extra and added something else in to it. Sort of like I've noticed there's a new mod tool for building. I'm not sure if it is new or not, but you can actually have different size triangles. You can have sort of basically half and or like the quarter tiles. So I will be looking into that, because I think that'd be really interesting to explore and to see what's going on with that. So that will be something in the future that we will be looking at. So fingers crossed, that should be pretty decent. And yeah, but not to digress, what we've done out, or I mean, yeah, the banners. I think we need banners or something that we can add on the outside just to add a little bit more dimension. It's like I would like to have like a flag hanging off here or something like that. It would be quite nice. Or like say for example here, I would like it so I could have had like an upside down billboard and then sort of a name on it, sort of thing, like paint a name on. Now what I was wanting to do, but it didn't quite work out. Or even still, you have like cranes that come off. But anyway, I'm digressing. So yeah, I think there could be a few bits and pieces that could be added to add a bit more versatility. But what we've done out here is we've added barrels, just like water and storage, water storage containing, or containing water, or storing it, whatever you want to sort of or describe it as. Apologies on my English, but yeah, we've also got a few crop plots on the outside, so you can grow your crops and stuff like that. And then also, it would add a little bit of greenery to the area, so this would make it look quite nice. So that's what I would have liked to have had. Unfortunately, I've not got a trike around with me at the moment to collect that because we're currently building in creative mode anyway. That's another thing which actually I would like to see is the resources being available in the crafting, because it's like these black colorings and white colorings and that type of stuff, you can't actually bring it out. You know, like sort of even fuel for a generator just so you can actually test to see what stuff does. It's like you would have thought being in creative mode you would have access to everything so you can test it all. I think that's something else which I think they could do with adding, is adding the ability to test everything and be able to have resources on demand. Now I know obviously that would lead to people, say for example on creative mode maps, where you basically add yourself a few bits and pieces and then go, yeah, okay, sound, and then going back in. But if it's their own survival world, who cares? Like, say for example, what was it that I needed the other day? I think it was like stuff to power this. I was trying to prat about with this. Now in Evolved, you can actually get the materials to put into this, but I can't seem to find it in the actual crafting menu or anywhere where to bring that fuel out to be able to power these. But no mind, I did manage to work a way around it by using a generator on the cryobox. I was trying to move Rexy Boy here over because he was way over there somewhere. But yeah, that's kind of where I was how I sort of discovered the fact that we couldn't sort of power or use the fuel that was involved in those. Like even for like the saddles here, look, it would be nice if you could use or whip out the material you needed to power that. But anyway, without digressing too much into that, I think again, I think that should be something that should be added in, having access to those raw materials or stuff that you need to craft, like narcotics or whatever. It would just be nice to have access to that. But yes, moving on without digressing too much. Right, what else have we got going on here? So we've got cages that we could use for storing animals, livestock, that kind of thing. That's kind of how my imagination was working with that one. And obviously, if you're sort of not using your imagination, it's there just for people who could, like, you know, want to lock them up and stuff like that. That's kind of the purpose why they're there. And then if we move around to here, we've got the feeding troughs again. Could be like a water trough or an actual feeding trough, anything like that that you sort of like want to do. Again, it's just down to what your imagination is wanting or would like that to be for. But yeah, adding a few chests just to make it look like something's happening as well, just to also add a bit of storage application as well, while they're there. And then I think we just said we've got the kegs there for the water storage. And over here, what we've got here is basically these were again going to be acting as sort of like armor stands or like displaying stuff. It would be nice if there was kind of like a smaller turret, or in fact, I wish there was a platform that we could use for this, because I wouldn't mind putting a couple of turrets on that, and that could have looked pretty cool. What acted as like defense as well. But unfortunately, it looks like the thing just hovers on top of it, and I hate things that hover. or doesn't make sense or connect to. So yeah, you see, you could do. You can't even do that. Okay, that's strange. Add that then. That's a must. See, I would like it so you could sort of put that quarter tile on there, and then you could just sort of spitballing here. I'm digressing, I know. But yeah, you could have just put it on the top of there, and then you could have put that turret on top, and it would have looked absolutely awesome. Like, stone thing. But, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's also another thing in that mod pack that was on about. We can actually have, what I did notice is that there was different thicknesses of pillars. So that would be something which I'm quite looking forward to have a look at. But without digressing into that, yeah, these are just for sort of like for armor stands, that type of stuff. Just for a bit of a display. And yeah, that's kind of how I built this, or that's kind of how I designed the areas. I hope this has been informative and helpful. Um, so it's just a shame I haven't got more tiles or more sort of things that I could use to my advantage. There's not a lot of sort of decorations or decorating things really. Have a look. Let's see. In fact, that was something I was going to add. So a couple of these. You probably plonk these on the outside of here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Yeah. Got yourself some pots for stewing and stuff like that now. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, there's not a lot of decorating things that you can decorate with. Yes, that was perfect English. Um, yeah, like you got this, but we've got no. Again, we can't use them because we can't have access to Rex helmets or the bone stuff. There's nothing in there for it. But yeah, it would have been nice to be able to add a few of them in. I probably would have put one of them on the front of this, or two of them, so like one on that one and then one on that one with like a thing off, and then probably might have done one there, well, just to sort of like balance it out a little bit. That's probably would have been another thing that I probably would have done if I had access to it. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? Spikes. Yeah, you could put a couple of spikes on the front, but you're on a raised section, and if you had like plant species X or just a turret, you could just take down whatever attacking you anyway. You wouldn't really need a ballista or something like that. What else? Yeah, there just isn't a lot. That is something as well that you could probably do, is adding a toilet. Let me just change this time of day. Yeah, so you could add a toilet in if you wanted to. Where is it? There. You could, if you go back to episode, or the one before actually. No, it was, which one was it? Yeah, no. It was the last how to build starter base episode where we added in the toilet in the bottom. You could probably do something like around here or something. Like probably have a little walkway down here, and you could build a toilet underneath. That'd probably be something that'd be good to add. If you wanted to add that, that was it. Or basically, you could do it in any building really, wherever to heart's content. But if you go back to the very last how to build a starter base, then yeah, you'll see in there how we did it, which is basically like a one wide tile by four tiles, like a four tile corridor, and it was just sort of like some stairs going down, and then just yeah, just like a one tile gap that we sort of built it in. That is something you could add in because we've got plenty of space for underneath. Even add something underneath if you wanted to. Or your generators, all that type of stuff. You wanted to keep them hidden. But yeah. I don't think there's anything else. But yeah, unfortunately, there isn't enough tiles to sort of like kind of do a proper how to decorate, really. Because it's all pretty much one-sided, if you know what I mean. So there's just not that versatility behind it. So it'd be nice if you just build yourself like a fabricator building, and then you've got like an industrial grinder building and stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, in fact, there is one thing that we do need to add, which I completely forgot about, is the barbecue. Oh, so yeah, everyone needs a barbecue outside to chill with. I think what we'll do as well is we'll add a little seating area here, just to finish this off. I think that's what we could do with something just to fill in the gap. Oh, come on. So we get that. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much finished everything off out here, I think. And it looks pretty decent. I think we need a bit of paint like. See, I would have loved to have put a taxidermy table here and have like a dinosaur that was taxidermied here. I think that would be pretty cool, add a little bit of dimension to it. Or even still, it would be nice to have a fountain. Nice little fountain in the center of here. Nice little water feature. I think that would have been pretty cool. But unfortunately, we can't do that. So, I think on that, I think it's time to end. I'm going to basically paint this whole entire area up now. And then we're going to do obviously the aerial shots of what we've created and the finished and final product. And yeah, so we're going to end the episode. So I hope I would say I'll say now, if you enjoyed the episode, please feel free to subscribe or leave a like on the episode. That'd be absolutely amazing and appreciated. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.